We are going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side of a right triangle, specifically to find the hypotenuse. So we're going to do a problem where you're given the two legs and we're looking for the hypotenuse. So before we do this problem, let's do a quick review of the Pythagorean theorem itself and what these variables stand for. So I know I can use the Pythagorean theorem because it's a right triangle, and I know it's a right triangle because of this 90-degree indicator right here. So because that's the case, I can use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, meaning that if I add up the squares of the two legs of the right triangle, I will get the square of the hypotenuse. So let's go over that a little more slowly. C is the hypotenuse of the right triangle. That is the longest side of the right triangle, and it's also the side that is across from the right angle. So that's the easiest way to find where it is. Now the A and the B, those are what we call the legs of the right triangle. The easy way to remember where the legs are is if you take the letter L for legs, it's like a 90-degree angle, and the sides or the line segments that make up that 90-degree angle are my legs. So A and B are my legs. All right, now let's use this information to find the missing side over here. So I'm looking for a length. I have a right triangle, so I know that in some way I can use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The important part now is to substitute correctly. So we can't just put these numbers anywhere we want. We have 15, 8, and x that have to get substituted in somewhere. When I look at this right angle and I shoot across from it, I see x. That means that x is my c, or my hypotenuse, because remember, like we said up here, the c is always going to be across from the right angle. So I know that when I go to substitute into this formula, the c is going to get replaced with x. I'm going to remember to bring down that exponent of 2, bring down my equal sign, and keep going. So the other two values that I'm given are 15 and 8. Those are the legs, because if you notice, if you look at the segment that makes up 15 and you join it with the segment that is 8, those two together make up that or create that right angle. So 15 and 8 are my legs. It doesn't matter which one I replace with A and which one I replace with B. So I'm going to write 15 squared plus 8 squared. And now we're going to start solving. So 15 squared is 225. 8 squared is 64. And that gives me x squared. Now I'm going to add up 225 and 64, and that's going to give me 289 equals x squared. But I want x by itself, so to get rid of that exponent of 2, I have to do the inverse, which is to take the square root. And of course, I'm going to do it to both sides, and that gives me x equals 17. So the value of this missing side here of the triangle, or my hypotenuse, is 17.